What's up, everybody? I'm LeBlanc.
I'm OC.
Time for another adventure.
Say you want smoke, you can drop the address. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a Medusa on my chest. 50 cal deagle bullet shooting through the vest. Hope the morgue got a mop, cause I'm finna leave a mess.
Alright, so on today's episode, we're going to be talking about cryptids. Now, if you don't know what a cryptid is, it's basically...
Before this.
Okay, yeah. Well, you knew what they were, you just didn't know the word, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So a cryptid is basically an animal that's claimed to exist, but hasn't yet been proven to exist. Scientifically proven with... Basically what they need to say it is proven to exist is a DNA sample. That's really it. Just a DNA sample and preferably like a carcass. If they could get a carcass, that's like prime, it's confirmed. Because it's hard with the DNA samples with
actual remains.
Yeah. Just anything. Like anything, like it says in the name. Proof. We need proof. Hardcore proof. Not some grainy video taken by a hiker on his 03 BlackBerry. At night. In the rain. In the conditions my grandparents used to walk to school in, apparently. Alright, so there's really no way to segue into cryptids. I mean, you just kind of got to jump the gun and pick one and start talking about it, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you pick? Let's pick the first one we talk about.
How about the Loch Ness Monster?
Loch Ness Monster. See, that was one of my favorites. Obviously, it's an OG. One of the first ones most people learn about.
Classic.
That is in Scotland, right?
Yeah.
Loch Ness, it's Lake Ness,
Loch
basically,
is
if it was in America.
lake.
Yeah. And it's basically this thing. It's a dinosaur-looking sea monster. I don't know how else to describe it. Long neck, chubby body. Big as shit. So what are your initial thoughts on the Loch Ness Monster?
I mean, so obviously there's millions and millions of species that we have no idea about yet. We haven't discovered yet. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was real or what people have been seeing is real.
Think about this, and this goes for the Loch Ness Monster, this goes for every cryptid we talk about today. Recently there was a cave, the world's largest cave, just got discovered in the last 10 years. The largest cave on the earth was just discovered in the jungle of Thailand or something. I don't know. It was some one of the Eastern Asian countries. It had its own climate, its own forest, its own ecosystem. It was that big. I mean, there were clouds inside of the cave. If you ever seen Ice Age, Age of the Dinosaurs, when they go underneath the ice, fall down deep into the earth, and they see this world of dinosaurs and plant life and species, it was more or less like that. Not exactly, obviously. But anyway, back to the Loch Ness Monster. So do you think it's real?
Yeah.
I believe in a lot of these, just because what people don't understand, when you hear Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, you think magic, you think you think of a singular Bigfoot, a singular Loch Ness Monster, but in reality, it's species of Sasquatch, not Bigfoot. You know, so it's not like that's, I feel like, the first gap you gotta get over to being able to open yourself to believing in this stuff, because it's not just one Bigfoot that the same people that claim to see it back in the 50s are still the same Bigfoot that they're claiming to see today. No, it's a species, it's different animals. So that's why I am open to this stuff. In terms of proof, proof of the Loch Ness Monster, what have you seen that has compelled you?
They just discovered something. It used to be a bigger body of water, now it's like a river or something like that, but they found remains of what they believe could be Loch Ness Monster, which would prove that it lived in fresh water as well as in a lake or Loch Ness.
Okay, so I know the most famous photo that I've always seen of the Loch Ness Monster. It just... No matter what people try to do, you can't convince me it's floating logs.
Yeah, no.
Some of the pictures, yeah, you can 100% tell they're floating logs. But the one picture I'm thinking of, I feel like I'll put it up. I feel like most people have seen when they hear of the Loch Ness Monster. It's not logs. Maybe there's another explanation, but to me it looks like one creature. It looks like one living animal.
Especially when you see the curves in some of the pictures too. It's not just...
Right, and you can see that glossiness that comes from an organic life. But we can't talk about cryptids without talking about the Jersey Devil, which is like the oldest cryptid in the country. So, I mean, are you knowledgeable on the Jersey Devil?
No, not really. I
Yeah.
know the Jersey Devils suck as a hockey team, but you know.
He said it, not me, but I agree. No, there are people in certain rural parts of New Jersey that really go hard for the Jersey Devil. I mean, they really believe in it, and they really like have a lot of like, you know, many groups that are dedicated to finding proof that it exists. Now, if you don't know what the Jersey Devil is, it's essentially a goat with wings, I guess. A gargoyle-looking motherfucker with a
horned
goat.
figure with wings.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
I have my own personal theory about the Jersey Devil. So I really just think that with a lot of these cryptids, well, not a lot of them, but certain ones, they are other things. They are things we already know of that people are misseeing. And a lot of, you know, if you're in the woods,
Like Bigfoot, some people might just be seeing a bear.
walking on its hind legs, they're scared for their life.
More than
They see a
likely
tall,
so.
hairy animal walking upright that's like 8 feet tall, and their mind just goes to Bigfoot. So they might not, that I agree with. But the Jersey Devil, I really have a theory that it is just small goats being carried away by large eagles or hawks. And people, you know, if you got a big ass bird carrying a small, and I'm not talking about a big ass build, like I'm talking about like maybe a baby goat. I mean, I've seen what these eagles are capable of carrying, these bigger birds, and a smaller baby goat is not. I think it's just a baby goat getting carried away.
They could pick up a small dog. They could pick
Yeah.
up.
I mean, so if you're driving through the woods in New Jersey on a dirt road at night, you got your headlights as the only source of light, and an eagle comes flying across the road carrying a baby goat, all you see is wings, something flying, goat head, goat horns. I think your brain is going to try to rationalize that in such a way that you create the Jersey Devil. And then once that precedent has been set, more and more people are going to see this and assume that. And now I heard from someone when I mentioned this theory before, they were like, oh, no. Listen, I live in New Jersey. I've never seen an eagle carry a goat. Yeah, we have eagles. Yeah, we have goats. But I've never seen one carried by the other. No shit. That's why it's so easy for them to use seeing that as saying it's the Jersey Devil. Because you've never seen a goat being carried by an eagle. So you don't have that rationalization to make in your brain. You can't say, oh, I see a goat head, eagle wings. It's got to be a goat getting carried by an eagle because you've never seen that. So your brain can't jump to that because it's not a reality for your brain. And it makes sense, but at the same time, I am open to the possibility that it is a real creature out there. I just don't want to be so open to it that I ignore the obvious. So not too far off, though, from the Jersey Devil is the Dover Demon. Here in Massachusetts, up in Dover, there's basically a Jersey Devil adjacent creature to be seen up there.
Similar looking thing out there.
And I would imagine a similar explanation, if I'm being completely honest. I don't really pay much attention to
Yeah, I've
Dover.
only been there like once or twice.
And just to play hockey.
Yeah.
Like, I
hockey,
don't go, we
baseball,
don't,
whatever it was.
yeah. Now, down to my Latino brothers down south. They got an animal down there that has been claimed to have been seen for generations and generations and generations. There's a creature that I personally would love to be real. I believe it. I have seen some compelling videos, and that is, of course,
The Chupacabra.
Chupacabra is a hairless dog that sucks blood. To start, basic explanation. If you've ever seen I don't know the exact pronunciation. Forgive me if I get this wrong. It's either like a Zolo or a Jolo. It's Xolo dog. It's a type of dog that they have down in South America, Central America, and in Mexico. What we're looking at here is like a missing link situation. Like we are seeing evolutionary paths that make it plausible for the Chupacabra to exist.
Yep, similar climates, obviously.
Yep. So we've got, and we've also got other animals that are known to suck blood.
Yeah.
Or there would be a reason for it. Why would they need? I heard this one theory why a vampire would need to suck blood, and that is vampires can't go out in the sun, so they need to suck blood to get their source of vitamin D. Is it the sun vitamin D?
I believe so. Sunny D, right?
Sunny delight, yeah.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah, so that's basically they suck blood to get the nutrients from humans, the nutrients that they can't get as a vampire. So I would imagine in the animal world, it's a similar vibe where these animals are sucking blood or eating blood from other animals to get nutrients that they can't get themselves. They also eat animals, but the biggest claims are when they drain the chickens of blood, drain the cows of blood.
You saw that one with a farmer out in Texas where she said she came out one morning and she went to check on her chicken coop and she saw one of her chickens dead, no marks or anything, just completely drained of its blood. It was just a lot smaller than it was before, but the coop wasn't broken into or nothing.
Right. I think I did see that. I also saw another farmer from Texas, a male farmer from Texas, who went out the same to his chicken coop in the morning to check on them, feed, do whatever they got to do, and all of his chickens are dead.
All of them.
All of his chickens were dead. Same story, nothing broken into. Same story again, a couple of them, or I'm not sure how many of them, drained of blood. A couple of them, but the thing was the bite marks, because the bite marks weren't, I don't know how to, they didn't take bites out. It was just a bite mark. They just
like
bit
an incision
it.
Almost.
Yeah, like they didn't bite and take a chunk out to eat. They just bit and held on, I guess, and then, or even just bit and let go. But the chicken was dead, so you got to assume it was doing something. It's not
the other. Yeah, but I don't know if it was the same with your guy. But the one that I saw with the woman down in Texas, she said there was no blood around the chicken either. There was no blood on the floor, nothing. Just
right. Oh yeah.
Drained.
And that is an important detail, is that there's no blood on the ground, because that could be an argument. Well, because even though the blood is going to seep into the dirt and the ground, there's still going to be the stains.
Still see the mark of it.
And there was none of that.
If we're going to talk about Chupacabra, we also have to bring up the South Park episode about it. Shout out South Park, great show.
The way they make that show is insane. Where they like that, and that's good because that's how they are able to keep it up so recent.
Oh, I love that show.
So up to date. They make their episodes literally like they air say an episode aired today. They would only start working on the storyline for the next episode tomorrow. I think I did hear that recently, maybe last season or so. They stopped doing that for a specific reason because they were busy with another project, so they had to make the season in advance or something. But nonetheless, I mean, hey, take your break, guys. Matt Stone and Trey Parker. Basketball. Basketball is one of my favorite comedy movies. My favorite comedy movie is Robin Hood Men in Tights, a Mel Brooks film with Carrie Elways. But yeah, Basketball is up there, dude. What's that dude's name? The dude they always fuck with? Squeak? Squeak, fuck your sister.
Squeak or bitch.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Chupacabra though, so there's these two shows that are gonna deserve a shout out in this episode. They no longer air, but it was Fact or Faked. They focused on videos of cryptids and paranormal stuff, and what their jobs was to go out and try to prove it as fact or faked. See if this person hoaxed this video and faked it, or see if it was something real to it. And the other show is called Destination Truth, which holds a very special place in my heart and always will. I have all 5 seasons on Apple. I bought them on iTunes.
6 seasons in a movie.
6 seasons in a movie. The host of that show, Destination Truth, is Josh Gates. He's very popular on TikTok right now. He makes a lot of funny videos. He also has a newer show called Expedition Unknown, which is another great show. But in Destination Truth, they went after reports of cryptids and paranormal stuff occasionally, but mostly cryptids around the world that are claimed. But they were different than Fact or Faked, because Fact or Faked was like specific single videos. They said, we have this video, we're going to go see if it was real or fake. Yeah, it was videos of popular cryptids, but it was based on that specific video, that specific location, everything. Destination Truth was more, okay, we have 50 sightings of a Chupacabra in southeastern Texas. Let's go check that out, that general area, epicenter, average epicenter of all the sightings, that general area. And so it was cool. But Fact or Faked had an episode on a Chupacabra video, which, if you ask me, looked fucking real. I don't care what anyone says. It didn't look like a pony like they tried to see, and they also didn't think it looked like a pony. It didn't look like any type of dog I've ever seen, so cut that out. It looked like its own animal. But on that same episode, they met with a farmer who found a legit cow on his farm, drained of blood to the point...
A whole cow.
A whole ass cow that literally the night before was a real like live mooing cow, and when he woke up in the morning, it looked like its skin had been vacuum packed and vacuum sealed around its bones.
Holy.
And there was like puncture wounds on it. It wasn't like your classic vampire 2 puncture wounds on the neck. It was like, but there was some puncture wounds, and again, no bites taken out of the cow.
That's wild.
No bites, chunks taken out of the cow.
Fucking wild.
You gotta be an evil, sick fuck to fake that. And this guy that they interviewed, I'm sorry, he was not that. I don't know. But he was not that. He was not the type of sick individual that it takes to do that. You could just tell by his interviews that he was giving. He was a normal farmer. I swear to it. So, that's it. I think that pretty much sums it up right there. I believe that the Chupacabra is a real species down there in Southern America, like the country of America, so, like, you know, Texas, Utah, New Mexico, like that area, you know, northern Mexico. I haven't done enough research to know how far south it goes, that creature would live, but definitely Mexico, US, that border area, definitely. Yeah, so, but I would definitely recommend checking both of those shows out if cryptids interest you, if paranormal... They don't get too much into the paranormal, which is why I like it, because if I want to watch paranormal, I'm going to watch Ghost Adventures with Zach Baggins, my boy, I love him. So, it's nice to have these shows that are about 90% cryptids, because it's nice when they sprinkle in the paranormal stuff, but it's nice to have a show that's not just paranormal, because if I... Again, want paranormal? I trust Zach Baggins. I trust his credibility. I trust his research. I trust his passion for the paranormal game. I trust everything about Zach Baggins, his whole team. So I go there. That's where I'm going for my paranormal. But it's nice to have these shows that dive into cryptids. And the big thing about Destination Truth, why I love it so much, why I love Josh Gates, because he doesn't go into any of these situations thinking, hey, these fucking crazy losers think that this thing is real, let me prove them wrong. No, he goes into it with, you know what? These people are seeing something. They're seeing something. I'm not out here to go and prove them wrong and say, ha, you were wrong. I'm going to find out for these people what they are seeing. No, not if it's real, what they are seeing. And there's one specific episode that jumps out. There was an episode in one of the islands, down south of Florida, that area, like the Cuba area, like that kind of area of islands. Forget which island, excuse me. But there was some type of sea animal that they were seeing, some type of sea monster that was just terrorizing them, and they really couldn't figure out what it was, and these people really thought they were seeing some type of vicious monster. And what he did, he went and looked for it, and what Josh and his team found was what these people were seeing were iguanas. Like a large type of iguana that goes into the water that these people didn't know about at the time, like yet. And so he was able to figure that out for them. And after figuring that out, I mean, obviously I haven't gone to these places and seen the changes, but you can only assume that these people were able to have a peace of mind and are able to approach it from more of a research point instead of a fear point, because as a researcher, Josh was able to go in there with a clear mind. These people live there and have to deal with the real life, everyday fear of that animal not knowing what it is. And he was able to go there and figure out what it was for them and document it. So it's good. His show is good, because they're not going out there and finding this and saying, aha, here's the Chupacabra. But they're going out there and saying, if they can't find the Chupacabra, they're looking for what these people are seeing, which is just great about it. And an area that he has had a lot of success in is, well, I guess Bigfoot and Bigfoot adjacent creatures.
What you think about Bigfoot?
Oh, Sasquatch is real.
Yeah.
It's
also
real.
known by Trailer Park Boys as a Sam Squanch.
Sam Squanch.
You haven't seen that show.
No.
You gotta get into it. It's a good show.
Yeah, we were talking about this. I think what my solution is, because I've tried to get into it, I think what the solution has to be is just I have to start from like season 3 or 4 or something.
Yeah.
Start in the meat and bones of it rather than trying to get into it from start, because it's just not my thing so far. And like, I respect what it is because I know how many people love that show. It's got a cult following for a reason.
Definitely.
But
Shout out
I just
my
haven't been able to
folks.
get into it for whatever reason. But I do want to, because obviously a lot of my friends do love it. So I see there being something that I like, but I haven't been able to get into it yet. So when I say Bigfoot and Bigfoot adjacent creatures, I'm really meaning, okay, we got Bigfoot, we got the Yeti / abominable snowman out in the Himalayan area. We've got the skunk ape down in the Louisiana swamp area, Florida, that area. It boggles my mind because it's the same thing with, like, I don't know. It's just, you've got all these different areas of people seeing similar creatures, similar ape-like creatures. I mean, there's... You gotta fill in the gap for me here if you're saying Sasquatch ain't real, because monkeys, apes, gorillas, humans. We know we've got the in-betweens, the Australopithecus, the Homo sapien, the Homo habilis. It's Australopithecus or something is the first one, first bipedal primate that walked solely on 2 feet, like solely bipedally. I think it was like Australopithecus. Yes, and walked. I think it was Australopithecus. I'm gonna say it a few more times and keep fucking up the name, but I'll put it up here. Yeah, Homo habilis, Homo sapien. There's one more. There's more than one more, but all intelligent, all proven, like with the. It's one of the. I can't even say that without getting canceled but like you gotta know what I mean. Like one of the Homo something. Like Homo sapien, Homo habilis, Homo something. I don't know which one it was that was the ones that started to use tools. But like they're all intelligent, and so to think that there is a species still out there that has the hair of a primate, has the build and structure of a primate with the strength enough to be a wild animal, yet the walking abilities of a human, the thinking abilities of a human, that doesn't mean they speak English or Spanish.
Or whatever language.
They speak their own language or communicate in their own ways just like every other animal. But that they're out there. There's no reason to believe they're not out there.
I believe they're real.
Because you see them here in northwestern United States, the Washington area, Oregon area, maybe NorCal.
Yeah, Northern California.
You see them over there. You see them down in South Florida, Louisiana, with the skunk ape. You see them in the Himalayas, in India, with the Yeti. All large, bipedal primates. That, like, why is it so hard to accept that they have really just gotten away with not being captured or because, and you wonder why they don't find any dead bodies, because they have the intelligence and mourning capabilities as humans. And I'm gonna put it in here just to make y'all upset. I'm gonna put it right here. There's a video of these scientists that took a fake baby monkey that was done with like Hollywood level prosthetics and makeup and all that looked dead real, and they put it into the middle of that species of monkey in the wild in Africa where they live naturally, and they put this thing there, and obviously it's fake and a doll. The monkeys don't know that. It looks real to me, so it looks real to them. They just think it's dead. And these things start mourning this doll, literally standing next to each other, one of them with its arm around the other while it's crying, and they're like hugging it. And you see a bunch of them doing it. They're all crying and mourning this dead baby, because to them it's a dead baby.
Yeah, I saw something else. Someone was telling this story. They saw a documentary where it was a study on the same thing, how the monkey species or the ape species, they mourn just like we do, and they introduced this I don't know what kind of monkey or ape it was, but it was at a zoo, and they introduced it to this cat, and every day they'd bring the cat to him, and they'd they just show him it, and he loved it. He'd start dancing and stuff. And then it was like, it went on for years, and then after a while the cat died, and he came back, and they told them through sign language the cat was dead, and the ape just went back into wherever it was like laying or resting, and just didn't come out for a few days. You could just hear it crying. It was crazy.
Now that you guys have, alright, not all of you, but now that you non-believers watching this have that information, you're telling me an animal the size of a Sasquatch is not gonna mourn the death of their own and give it a proper, like, burial type deal?
100%.
I mean, I'm sorry, in these wood type areas, you guys aren't going out there with your radar detectors and looking for burials. And even if you are, you're not gonna find them. They're smart and they're intelligent animals. Dolphins jerk off. I don't know why that's relevant. I just wanted to say it. It's not related. It's just I knew that and I wanted to tell everyone. But Bigfoot is a Sasquatch. It's a species. It's real. Onto the Yeti, because the Yeti is the same thing. It's just the Himalayan version.
Makes sense. It's like
it's like Bigfoot but winter. Bigfoot
like,
but make it white.
Yeah, it's basically just like a polar bear.
Yeah, honestly, that's a good analogy.
Think about it. It's just like a polar bear. In the mountains, around snow, it's gonna adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
I mean, and in both environments, we are talking about reliable food sources for an animal of that size. So that's out of the way.
Yeah.
That's out of the question. That's not even an issue. Skunk ape is another one. It's I believe is believed to be a bit shorter than...
I don't know anything about that one.
The skunk ape is called the skunk ape because it smells like absolute dog shit. And, but it's got a foul, strong odor, and it's like a swamp dwelling creature, about the same size and build and characteristics of a Bigfoot, but a little smaller. That broader shoulders, just more like if this makes sense to anyone but me, I don't know if it will, but I'm gonna say it anyway. They're like, the skunk ape is like the gorilla of the Bigfoot family. They're the stocky Mike Tyson motherfuckers. Yeah, that's the only way I know how to put it. They also have, I believe the skunk ape is the one that has like a howl. They're more like they have a howl. Oh yeah, there's the yowie from Australia.
The what?
The yowie. It's Australia. They name all their stuff something
Makes
like
sense.
that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's basically like their Bigfoot, I guess. But yeah, anyway, any other fun little cryptids you want to talk about? Oh, another creature that they looked at on Destination Truth was the Nahualito,
Really?
Argentina. Another like
Never heard of that
lake
one.
monster. That one was cool. They had I don't know if I'm correct on this, but I believe that was the one that they had the local government's help to look for. Isn't there one in Canada called the Ogopogo?
Yeah, I think so. It's like a lake.
It's
monster or something like
another
that.
lake monster. There's a lot of cryptids out there, and that just goes to show like the certain ones you see pop up everywhere. The large water animals that are all, and alright, now is where we're about to blow everyone, like not we, but me is about to blow everyone's mind, because this is the theory I've held for a while, and I'm excited to finally share it with some people. And that is that I think a lot of the water ones are prehistoric animals. Have you ever seen old animal dinosaur, like water dinosaurs?
Yeah.
I seriously think, because like, why is an animal that big that could live so deep in the ocean in such cold waters going to be affected by fucking cloud caused from an asteroid?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I mean, come on now. Have you seen Jurassic World? Chris Pratt, that bitch that jumps out the water, bro.
Yeah.
Huge. That ain't no Free Willy. Yo, I'm telling you, I really think, and think about how little of the ocean we've actually discovered. It's
That's what I'm
scary,
saying.
bro, and that's why I
huge.
love the ocean so much. I swear to God.
Yeah, there's so many different species and creatures or animals that we haven't even came close to discovering yet, because we haven't even. How much of the ocean have we even discovered?
It's a small. You know what? I'll Google it right now. You know what? I'll ask Siri. Okay, so I just asked my main bitch Siri how much of the ocean has been explored. 5%. That's scary. But like, that is why I love the ocean so much, and I have always vowed that one day, if I eventually have an amount of money and power and a big enough platform that I can raise money for a cause or raise awareness for a cause. My focus is on the ocean and preserving the oceans because I am in love with them, have been since I was a kid. I love sharks. I love a hammerhead shark. Hammerhead sharks are my favorite creature on this entire planet ever since I was a child. The way they swim with their head on a swivel, constantly looking, constantly moving, it is absolutely majestic to look at. A great white shark, the humble beast they are, just swimming through the ocean all peaceful and slow until they're hungry and need to eat, and then they go on attack mode. The orca, the killer whale, most vicious animal on this planet. If you put every animal in the ocean up in a battle royale, one member, the most badass member from each species, I guarantee the orca is coming out on top.
Huge too. Massive.
And they're not even the biggest. Blue whale is
That's
bigger.
Crazy.
Blue whale is the big. I believe it's the blue whale.
I still think it's fucking that shit up.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, the blue whale's donezo.
Yeah,
the blue whale's donezo when it gets to the great white shark. Fuck is you talking about? But no, I mean the oceans, we need to preserve those, especially like if you've seen a lot of tropical fish, like a lionfish. So many amazing animals in the ocean that we need to preserve. That's why I think even deeper, because there's this video that I saw. Actually, Joe Rogan ended up talking about it on his podcast too. There was this camera at the bottom of this oil rig, and they caught this giant squid with like 35, 40, 50 foot tentacles. And the thing looked fucking alien, bro. I'll put a picture or maybe even the video up right here if I can. But the thing looked alien, and that's why like there's so many.
You think the megalodon could still exist?
You know what? That is a rabbit hole I fell into in middle school. And I kind of fell out of it when popular culture and the media started getting around and playing with it. I was like, all right, I'm over it. It's corny now. But I do believe dude, from Boston to Outer Banks, North Carolina to down the tip of Florida, Miami area, from that area all the way over to West Africa, Western Europe, that area, there is about, if you look at the map at least, it looks about the same size as the continents, is about the same size amount of water that's in between. What the fuck do you think is in there, yo? Go 10 miles offshore from anywhere, and you are not even close to being anywhere near the fucking thick of the ocean. And you are still in deep territory. You are still in great white territory. You are still in orca territory 10 miles off the shore. 10 miles off the shore is far for us, but it ain't shit in terms of the fucking globe. There's a lot that exists out there that we have no idea about. And there is a lot that exists here on land, in these forests, in these jungles, that we have no idea about.
100%.
And they're not all Loch Ness, Bigfoot-sized creatures. Some of them may be little lemur-sized creatures. Some of them may be, little gerbil mice.
Bug-sized creatures.
Bug-sized, that we just have no idea about, that we couldn't even fathom.
Crazy.
I could go ask my daughter Zoe, 5 years old, almost 5 years old, to draw me a picture of a bug she makes up in her mind, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bug out there that looks exactly like that we haven't discovered yet. That's how much is out there that we don't know about. On to the question.
Okay, I got a question. So, you have a painting series that you did of cryptids. Can you explain what ones you have? And
Okay, happily. So, I have a few painting series that I've done because I love to paint ever since I was real young. I used to paint pictures for my grandmother. Just from a real young age. I was maybe 6 or so when my grandmother on my dad's side bought me my first oil painting set. She bought me an easel, a bunch of canvases, and a real nice set of paintbrushes. And ever since then, I've just upgraded. I've moved on since to acrylic painting. It's my preferred medium now. So one of my series I have, the series that came first was what I call my landscape series. And that is basically just, I have like a country road, a 7-Eleven, stuff like that, a beach, a local beach, 2 local beaches actually. Stuff like that. And the last picture of the series is this picture of some mountains which is a picture I found online. I'll post my painting in the original source that I found it from. And I altered the UFO in the original picture to be more my style. And I painted it my way. And to loop that series to my next series, I used that UFO in different settings. I'll post them all right here. And what it was the UFOs coming, and with their tractor beams, pulling up different cryptids. I have written in each one of them the name of said cryptid with a question mark and an exclamation point. So and I'll keep them up here the whole time. The point of the series is like it's the same UFO from the landscape series that's now in its own series, and the joke is like they're aliens. It's a UFO. And they're surprised to see the Loch Ness Monster. They're surprised to see Bigfoot. They're surprised to see a Yeti. They're surprised to see a werewolf. Like, I don't know what. That's just where my mind went with the series. And what the Bigfoot one. Actually, I made a small Bigfoot one. It was maybe 4 inches by 3 inches. And then I made the Loch Ness Monster one. Then I made the Yeti one. Then I made the werewolf one. And then I made Bigfoot. Then I redid the Bigfoot one to be the same size as the rest of them. And it's my favorite painting series I have. I'm gonna stand up. I have the UFO from the series tattooed right here. Above it is the title of my first album, We Are Not the Same, and that's all just one tattoo. It's the same UFO. I have a question for you, and it's a multi-layer question, basically just about the episode. So, out of all the cryptids we talked about today, are there any that you do not believe in that you think are just like fake, something we already know about? Like I know you don't believe this one, but for example, you could say like, oh, I don't believe Bigfoot. I think people are just seeing bears standing up. Like I know you don't believe that, but are there any?
I mean, I guess
of all
like
the cryptids?
the Jersey Devil.
Oh, that's one
like
for me.
Like you said, like it could just be a bird carrying another animal.
A large bird carrying a small
So
horned.
yeah, I guess I would have to say the
horn.
Jersey Devil or
And
something of that.
And the Dover Demon.
Yeah.
Those two I'm pairing as.
Similar.
One we didn't talk about because it's not really a cryptid. This one is more of a mythical figure, but the Mothman.
Never heard of that
You've
one.
never heard of the Mothman?
No.
So I believe it's also New Jersey. I could be mistaken, but it's definitely northeastern America. It's basically this being that people in this area claim to see before a disaster, such as a bridge collapsing was one of the disasters that happened, stuff like that. It's just exactly as it sounds. They claim a Mothman. I don't know. I don't believe that one, though. I just brought it up to say it was fake. No, but that's another one that I don't believe in, even though we didn't talk about it today. Some others that we don't... any others that we didn't even talk about that you just don't believe in, that you've heard of? Mythological creatures or cryptid? Actually, back to my painting series, because there's a difference between cryptid and mythological creature, obviously. But the werewolf from my series is more of a mythological creature. But the reason I justify putting it in the painting is because there are people out there who claim werewolf. Actually, Destination Truth did an episode on this town that claimed there was a werewolf, and it was so stupid. There was like this little boy that was a suspect or something, and they literally like put this boy on a fucking chair in front of a camera, sat him down all night, and there was a point where he walks off camera, and then like a wolf or something, dog-looking wolf, coyote-looking thing walks on screen, and even Josh Gates and all of them are like, come on, guys. Like, y'all just really summoned your boy and then sent in a coyote or something? Like, I forget how they reacted, but they were like, alright, so that was bullshit. But, they were like, yeah, we saw the boy go over there, so we're assuming he's in that house, or like that bush, or like behind that. They were like, they knew where he went. It was stupid. But it did seem like the people in the village tried to set that up, like, alright, when you're there, for like, when you can count to like 500, I want you to walk this way, and then we'll send the coyote in. Like something stupid. Or wolf. It wasn't a wolf. It wasn't like a full-grown fucking wolf, but it was wild. Stupid. Any other questions?
What's your favorite?
No, that's a motherfucker of a question. You may as well ask me who I prefer, Zoe or Piper. I mean, you're asking to choose my favorite kid, like. But, since you're not asking me to choose between my children, I will give it a shot to answer. But I wouldn't give you a shot if you asked me Zoe or Piper. I can't choose a favorite child. No, I would have to go with... Alright, let me ask you a question. Are you talking my favorite to look into, or my favorite, like, the idea of?
The idea of.
Okay, that's an easier question to answer. And my answer to that is the Loch Ness Monster.
Why?
Just... Does the lake connect to a river that connects to, like, or anything? Because a lake is supposed... A lake is technically combined inland, right?
Pretty sure.
I don't know, but if it's a lake like I think it is, then that makes it even cooler. But regardless, like, the idea of such a large creature existing in just such a majestic way, or not even Loch Ness Monster specific, now that I think about it, just like the idea of the sea monster.
Yeah.
The idea that there are large, big-bodied bitches out there in the ocean with long-ass giraffe necks and horse heads. It's just an amazing thing to fantasize about to me. But that's just like comes with my ocean bias. Like I said, I love watching sharks just exist. Hammerheads, great whites, lemon sharks, tiger sharks, basking sharks. And so I would have to go with that, just because the idea that there's something huge, majestically living out there, doing its own thing, able to not be hunted to extinction by humans like whales almost were and like dolphins almost were. It's the idea of that is just the best to me. What about you?
I'd say probably Yeti.
That's up there for me.
Snowman. Just from what movie was that? The cartoon Christmas.
Monsters,
No, the Christmas one.
Oh, Rudolph.
Was that Rudolph?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just from like growing up watching like Rudolph and shit, probably the Yeti and Mom.
But also, don't forget Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. as well.
When he has the snow cones. But then Mike just throws them at Sully. Anyway, I'm getting carried away. We're getting into Off the Rails. So you know what? We're getting off the rails. Let's just go into Off the Rails, because I already have a burning topic I'm ready to talk about.
What you want?
Friday night.
Friday night.
You know what I did Friday night?
Oh, how was the show Friday night?
The show Friday night.
Motley Crue.
Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Joan Jett, Poison. Let me tell you, the most electric experience of my life. Never to be topped. The way that Joan Jett stole the crowd as the first performance at a sold-out Fenway Park. Let's start there. She performed, a lot of her songs, but she performed I Love Rock and Roll. And when I tell you, everybody there, from the youngest kid to the oldest adult, was on their feet singing and dancing at 4 p.m. to the first performance at Fenway Park. And then gets on. Well, they had like some nobody opener. I'm sorry, no disrespect, but me and my dad said that to each other. They didn't belong on the stage with all these legends. I'm sorry to whoever they are. They just weren't that good.
Okay.
Don't know why they were on the stage with all these legends. But Joan Jett was the first real performance, and she killed it. And after I Love Rock and Roll, she did the Bad Reputation song. I forget what it's called, but I don't give a damn about my reputation. Yeah. That killed as well, like so many of her songs.
Seen that video of the little girl? She's doing like what was it on the water? It was like jet skiing almost, but like she was going tubing or something like that. And she's fucking jamming out.
Oh
to
yeah.
Oh,
On like with the boat.
Oh yeah.
Well, like being
Yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about now.
Good for that girl.
And then after Joan Jett was Poison. And Poison, let me tell you, Bret Michaels, he knows how to fucking put on a show. That man killed it. I know way more Poison songs than I thought I knew originally. Just gonna get that out there. Same with Def Leppard, who performed next after Poison. But shout out to Poison. They are still killing it at their age. Joan Jett still can play the fuck out of a guitar, that woman. I swear to God, she shredded that thing. Poison, still great. Def Leppard, again, I knew way more of their songs than I thought I knew. I just didn't, whatever. Because who I went to this concert for was the headliner, the last act, Motley Crue.
You had a tragedy for because your phone died.
Motley fucking Crue. My phone, but you know what? I'm not even mad because I got to sit there in the moment with my dad and rock out to some Motley fucking Crue. It was an amazing experience. So, shout out to Def Leppard. Oh my God, I gotta find a recent picture of the lead singer of Def Leppard. I shit you not. The only thing that I could see, they had the big screens. Every time I looked at him and every time he came up on the screen, with the jacket he was wearing, he looked like Terry Silver in the first episode of Cobra Kai season 4.
Great show. Great show.
And that's all I could see for the rest of their performance, even after he changed jackets. I could only see Terry Silver. I'm sorry, but he killed it. He sang absolutely great. He did his thing. The whole band, the drummer with one arm, fucking played the fuck out of those drums. Yeah, but on to Motley Crue, because I cannot even exaggerate how unreal that was. Have you seen The Dirt?
I haven't.
The Dirt
is good.
So literally, here's the story. A little over 3 years ago, I saw the movie The Dirt. A little over 3 years ago, I saw the movie The Dirt, and I absolutely loved it. And I didn't really know Motley Crue when that movie came out. I talked about this last week's episode. I didn't know them. And I loved that documentary so much, I got into their music hardcore. As much as I get into the Juice WRLDs, the Lil Waynes, who are my favorite 2 rappers, and Eazy-E, my 3 favorite rappers of all time, I dove into it deep. And there was a bunch of songs that I realized I knew that I didn't know were them, again, but I dove deep into it, and I loved all of it. So I decided, hey, I want to go to this concert. They announced their tour, their farewell tour, or whatever they call it, the stadium tour. And so I tell my dad, I'm like, oh, you want to go? And he's like, yeah, and he buys the 2 tickets. That was in 2019.
I was about to say, when was this?
That was November of 2019. Now, we're in August right now, so we're 2 months shy. Yes, August of 2022. We're 2 months shy of 3 years since I bought those tickets. The show got postponed. It was supposed to be that coming August. It got postponed because of COVID, when I bought the tickets, COVID was not even a word that anyone knew. It wasn't. And then COVID comes out, COVID drops its album, and then then it gets postponed another year. Then COVID drops its second album with the Omicron, gets postponed another year. Finally, this year, August 5th, I finally got to go see Tommy Lee, Nikki Sixx, Mick Mars, and Vince Neil perform all of my favorite songs of Motley Crue. When I tell you, I got so hyped for Livewire, I sang the whole song. I know every word to that song. I swear to God, it's my favorite Motley Crue song. And by far, before I get into that, sorry for the suspense builder, other songs that I love that they performed, Wild Side, that was amazing. Obviously Livewire. Same Old Situation. They didn't do Take Me to the Top, but they did a lot. But Home Sweet Home, that's the one I was trying to think of. But by far, without a doubt, the most electric moment of my entire life that will never be topped again, I guarantee it. I will never experience a moment more electric than this, was a sold out Fenway Park screaming along to Shout at the Devil with Motley Crue. You have no idea how electric it is to feel an entire crowd of a sold out Fenway Park yelling, shout, 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 shout at the devil. Yo, it was insane. When I tell you every person in the crowd, every person in this sold out crowd was yelling it. It was unreal. Mick Mars at his age with his ankylosing spondylitis, still killing it on the guitar. Tommy Lee, the chaotic angel he is, I love that man. This man gets on stage after like the first couple songs so that the boys can go get their break, maybe an outfit change, get their water in. He comes out to the front and center of the stage off his drum kit with his mic and he goes, where am I? Am I in Boston? And then everyone's like, yeah! And he's like, I don't think I'm in Boston, because I'm looking around, and I don't see any titties. Where are the titties? Where are all the titties? And now all the titties start coming out, and they got the camera, and they're showing all the fucking titties that are coming out. It was insane. He just stole the crowd. And then when Nikki Sixx came on for his point to talk in the show, give his little spiel, he came out, oh my God, it was because he again, the same deal, right after they finished a song, he came up with his microphone, was to talk, while the rest of the boys went backstage to get their water, get their outfit changed, wipe their sweat off, whatever, and he, as he's walking up to front and center of the stage, grabs his towel off his shoulder that he's using, in the mic, wipes his forehead off, spots a young, maybe late 20s girl in the front row, wipes his forehead and his face with his towel, and goes, "Here, you want my towel?" He goes, "Here, have my towel." And go home and compare it to the one I gave your mother in '87. Yo, when I tell you, legendary thing to fucking say, because he probably fucking did. Because if that girl was there listening to Motley Crue, she was probably exposed to it from her parents. So it's entirely. What did Pete Davidson say in the dirt? Oh, you don't know, you haven't seen it. What did Pete Davidson say in the dirt? Don't leave your girlfriend around Motley Crue. They'll fuck her.
That's wild.
The most insane show I've ever been to.
Yager shit.
It really is.
He's like, "Nah, bitch, I played with your dad and your granddad."
And you remember? Hi, I'm Jaromir Jagr, and my favorite player is Jaromir Jagr. Yo, I love him. So glad he came to Boston for a point.
He did. He's still playing. He's still going.
Overseas, though.
100%, but still. He owns the team. He plays on the team. He does whatever he wants.
Oh, yeah. He's, what's his name from Slapshot? Paul Newman.
Oh, yeah. Red
Player
Dunlop.
coach? Yeah. Oh, man.
You say, that's good Fenway Park was loud, because fucking Sox have stunk recently.
Woo.
It's been quiet there. Quiet.
Yeah.
Did you hear that DCU scrapped everything, is planning to redo how they're going to make and put out
I
movies?
did,
They're
actually.
going to go along with somewhat like how Marvel did it.
A new timeline?
Somewhat like that.
So they're starting from Iron Man.
I'm not sure, but
Not literally the character. I'm
I
saying.
heard, was it Batwoman or Batgirl? That got scrapped. A bunch of things got scrapped, and they're just going to redo everything, I guess. You hear about that?
Yeah, but I didn't know what they meant.
Yeah, no, they said they said they're basically going to go along with something like what Marvel did, with timelines and stuff like that, instead of releasing.
That's pretty cool. I'm not a huge DC guy, but I love me some Batman.
Batman, yeah.
Oh, and I like Aquaman. I really do. I used to love him in the comics. I like the Jason Momoa films, but fuck
The
Amber
shows
Heard.
are pretty good on
I love
CW.
Jason Momoa. No disrespect to him.
CW shows are pretty good at ECU.
Never seen any of them. I think I want to watch Gotham.
Gotham's pretty
Just
good.
because I love almost
Flash
every
is
single
good.
actor that they
Arrow's
get.
good.
Arrow, I've heard good things.
Arrow's pretty good.
Mm.
You know what I started again since we talked about it? It was Walking Dead.
Whew. You know what I want to start again, which we've never talked about on the show, but just a show I used to watch that I want to start again? Lost.
Oh yeah, I remember that show.
I used to love that show. That show was really good. And I know a lot of people shit on the
That
later
show was
seasons
a
with it
mind
getting
fuck.
too crazy. Yeah, that's the thing. They say it gets too crazy, but so fucking what?
That's what made it good.
Just say you don't like it.
That's what
don't
made
try
it good.
to.
You could theorize whatever the fuck you wanted about it.
Yeah, don't try to make it like a everyone should hate it thing. Make it a you thing. It's a you thing. You don't like it. Don't start
That's
saying it's
fine.
stupid and it makes no sense and all this. It does. Just not to you. You're stupid. It's not stupid.
It gets a little sporadic at
It
times,
does.
but
But if you pay attention, you could keep track.
it comes together in the end.
And then by the second time you watch it, you're good. I went golfing this morning.
How'd that go?
Not good. I'm not good at golf.
Me either.
I got one par, maybe one par, 4 bogeys, a couple sevens, and 1 6. Yeah, right? 1 par, 4 bogeys, 2,
I haven't hit a golf ball since the driving range the day
3 sevens, and
day
a 6.
before Piper was born.
Oh yeah, the day before wild story that I'll tell. When my most recent daughter was born, I only have 2 kids, but my most recent daughter was born on July 10th of this year. She was early. She came early. So July 9th, me and him went to the driving range because we had a tee time on July 10th in the morning. And so we went to the driving range on July 9th to practice. And I take one swing, my phone whacks me in the balls, so I put it in my golf bag. He finishes his balls, and I have 2 or 3 left. And he checks his phone first. And my girlfriend had blown him up. Telling him, he's like, yo, you might want to check your phone. So I hit my last couple golf balls, and I checked my phone. She's like, I think I have to go to the hospital. She's freaking out. My mom was here with her, so she took her over. And we left the driving range and came here, grabbed a go bag, and went, because thankfully we already had our go bag ready here. Went over to the hospital and we had to cancel our tea times, safe to say.
Wild.
Crazy adventure. And my first daughter came late, but also like at an unexpected time, so I ended up being at a family party for my cousin Quinn's, I don't know what birthday party, but one of her birthday parties. And she being, you know, my first daughter's mother, called me like, my water broke, I'm on the way to the hospital, and I like had to leave the family party in a rush to get to the hospital. So like, just a crazy life here.
Both times in a rush.
But I've had a hell of a weekend too. Started off with Motley Crue, relax all day Saturday, Sunday, play some golf and film an episode of the Adventures. Can't get better than that, huh?
Alright, we're about to head out.
Saturday your mother for me.
Say you want smoke, you can drop the address. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a Medusa on my chest. 50 cal deagle bullet shooting through the vest. Hope the morgue got a mop, cause I'm finna leave a mess.